Is a post-apocalyptic drama that tells the story of a father and son traveling through a scorched earth in search of a safe place. The movie is set in a world devastated by an unknown disaster. The survivors are forced to struggle for survival in the conditions of harsh reality. Some cataclysms have fallen on the earth, as a result of which not only civilization but also almost all animals and plants have perished. The only food for the survivors can be either canned food made before the catastrophe or other people. In this world, a father and son wander down an ash-covered road in search of better things. Their way of life consists of searching for canned food and trying to avoid the nets of cannibals. His mother did not want to give birth to a child in this world, but his husband persuaded him. After the birth of the child, she wanted to kill herself and take her son with her. The husband, with all his he might wanted to persuade his wife and promises her that he will protect them from all but the mother of the child. In spite of everything, goes out of the house at night and disappears in the darkness. Even his husband cannot stop her, and she dies, leaving the son and the father alone. Every night, the father reads fairy tales from books to his son. One of these nights, they hear the sound of a burning forest coming out of the tent. They see a huge forest burning, and there is no one to put out the fire. One day in the morning, the father hears a sound from a truck. He quickly wakes up his son, and they leave the car, and they quickly hide in the forest so that the cannibals don't find them. One of them accidentally approaches them and sees them. The father, has only 2 cartridges on the pistol. Hannibal persuades them to go with him to this group, but the father knows that he wants to lure them into a trap and shoots. The other father hears the sound, and the son manages to hide from them. When they leave there, the father and son return to pick up the calf that contained their things, but the cannibals took all the things they needed. Only books remained. They didn't eat anything for several days. As the father and son were already exhausted from hunger, the father finds a can of soda from an old machine and gives it to his son for him to drink. The son drinks soda with surprise because he has never tried it before. Then at night, they stop to spend the night on a truck who was on the bridge. The boy tells his father that he wants to go to his mother. The father asks him what sense. In response, the boy says that he also wants to die and not starve anymore. On the way, the wanderers end up in the house. They look for food but find nothing in the kitchen under the table. The father finds something, the secret door. With the help of an axe, he opens the door and together with his son goes downstairs to look around. Below, they find people who have been there as food for the owners of the house. They also want to leave the basement, but the father and son run away from there and close the door. On their way out, they see the owners returning from the hunt. The father quickly takes his son, and they hide in the latrine. The father sees that he has no options and decides to kill his son at that moment. The people who were below open the basement door and go outside. The father takes this chance and they run away from there. The father and son barely manage to escape unnoticed. Then they find the house where the father spent his childhood. They go inside. The father tells his son about the memories of his childhood. He sees that his son is bored and tells him to wait outside and they will come to him soon. He finds a piano and remembers his late wife. Here it seems to the son that there is another boy in the next building, and he begins to call him. Hearing the sound of the son, the father quickly runs to him and stops him. The son tells his father that he saw the boy, but the father does not let him look for the boy. One day, the travelers are very lucky. They find an underground bunker where there is everything necessary for life: food, water, gas cylinders, candles, and even cigarettes and whiskey. Finally, they ate properly and rested. They had everything for living at night. The father put himself in order, but heard strange sounds. Out of fear of strangers, father and son are soon forced to flee from there. They take everything they need that they can carry and leave the bunker. Next, the wanderers meet an old man dying of hunger, and then the boy begs his father to feed him. The father, with difficulty, agrees and invites him to dinner. They spend the night together. In the morning, the old man leaves them. Then they again come across cannibals and are saved only by an earthquake. The trees collapse and they hide between the trees. Then the father falls ill and he begins to cough up blood. Nevertheless, the travelers continue their journey to the coast, but the sea disappoints them. It is as dead as the rest of the world around them. They see a ship that has run aground, and the father decides to search it. He leaves his son a revolver and all his belongings. While he is sailing the ship, his son falls asleep in the tent. At this time, a thief appears and robs them. The father manages to find the thief, who he forces to strip naked in the cold. And this makes a difficult impression on the boy. After some bickering, the wanderers return the clothes and leave a can of canned food in the place where they last saw the thief. In one of the dead cities, the father is hit in the leg by an arrow. Then he begins to shoot back from the signal pistol he found on the ship. He manages to kill the archer. Father pulls the arrow out of his leg and bandages his leg. They continue on their way, but the father coughs and spits up blood. The father tells his son that he can no longer continue walking. He looks at the sea and remembers his wife. The son takes care of his father as best he can. Adler gives the gun to his son and tells him not to let anything happen to him. The exhausted father soon dies in the arms of his son, most likely from an illness that has caused him to cough up blood for a long time. The orphan child is almost immediately found by another man, well armed, who has a wife, children, and a dog. It was they who inadvertently scared the main characters away from the bunker earlier, and it was this boy who was noticed by the son of the main character. As the orphan agrees to continue the journey with them. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, subscribe and